So good morning. I'm Dan Sloan. Again, this is Alan, Pillar to Post Home Inspectors. Kind of give me a little chance. I'm trying to wake up, and Alan tells you I was been in the Swiss Alps for the last 2 weeks. So now this is my first, not really day back, but the first couple of days back, and trying to get back into the groove of things.
You could have led about that.
But anyway, just want to tell you a little bit about Pillar to Post and what really kind of sets us off different from other companies, and a little bit about myself. I started in home inspections in 1993 in Atlanta. Had a little small home inspection company up there called Architectural Inspectors. And it was a great little company. The problem back in the 90s, you just couldn't make a lot of money on home inspections because people didn't really require them or want them or whatever else. So I got out of it, got in the remodel business for almost 30 years, done everything from building homes completely to totally remodels to kitchen designs to a little bit of everything. And then about 5 years ago, I was buying a house in Fairhope and it needed a home inspection, and I called Pillar to Post. And a guy back then who owned the company called Crye-Leike. I don't know if y'all ever used him or ever heard of him. He was a great inspector, unbelievable guy. Him and I became very close friends pretty quick. It was just something that always interested me because I had a business. And so him and I started talking, and then one day he just said, "Hey Dan," he says, "I'm gonna sell the company. I'm moving to Connecticut." He says, "That's the only way I can go see my grandkids is I gotta move to Connecticut." So him and I got together, and make a long story short, I bought it from him. It's been the best investment my entire life, honestly. I love the business. It's just who I am. It's who I've always been. And Pillar to Post, if you know a little bit about Pillar to Post has actually been in business since 1993. We're the #1 leading home inspection company in the nation. When you talk about franchises, Pillar to Post is not only the top home inspection franchise, but it ranks number 14 in all franchises across the United States. Now think about that. That's behind Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and all these other, we're number 14, which really tells you what kind of company we are. The beauty about what we do is one thing that I really like about Pillar to Post is that we're always the leading edge. We do things different than everybody else. And every time we have another conference, which we have another one coming up in January, they're going to bring out 4 or 5 more new things we're going to be doing. And we're already hearing about some of those things, but they'll go into effect probably in January or February. Some of the things that we do is that we do 360-degree photos of your entire house. It doesn't matter if you're using our standard inspection or if you're doing our premium or our prestige. We go in with a camera, and there's 360-degree walkthrough on every room. We try to get as much of the roof as we can. We try to get under the crawl space as we can. And then on top of doing the 360-degree, if you move up to our premium, we give you a floor plan of the house exactly the way that it is. So you will get a printed floor plan just like this, basically. And that's in your binder there. And it's going to show you the square footage of every single room, which is really nice, especially if you're selling a house from say a customer that's in New York's never seen it and he wants to see the layout, wants to see photos. You really can't beat the way this all shows the house and to show the photos. We're the only company that we know of, and I'm sure that people's going to copy us on down the road, that does anything near a 360 or that particular floor plan. One other thing we do, which is really odd, so once we do a summary report, and if you look at your, this is the way the report would start, but then our very first page of the report would be a summary report. And a summary report are basically the items that we found that need to be addressed by the seller or the buyer, or things that we recommend being addressed. But the beauty about doing only that summary report, because all inspections come and give you that summary report, is now the next day we're going to price that summary report out 100%. So if you've got hot water heater that's bad or whatever else, we give you a price on what it's going to cost to fix that repair. It's just really unheard of in our industry. we've been doing it long enough now, and you say, oh my goodness, how do you know the average is down here? How do you know that's gonna be the right? Well, I can tell you, I mean, if you're gonna replace a hot water heater, you can call one plumber and he said he's gonna cost you $2,000. You can call another plumber. That plumber may say he's gonna cost $1,000. So there's no way to know exactly, but ours is a great average on what it should cost. We've been doing this now for 3 years, and knock on wood. I'm not gonna knock on that because it said there's no wood. I don't know if there is any wood. But, you know, we're almost never off. I mean, the figures really come down to very close to what it should cost. Now, I will give you a little hint on the punch list or on the estimate. Let's just say, for instance, I noted in a house that you got a big hole in the sheetrock. So, you know, based on my photos, that punch list is pricing all this stuff out. What they're gonna do is they're gonna price this per square foot. So if you've got holes here and you got holes over there and you got holes everything else, basically you have to figure out the square footage of that to be able to determine the exact price. So if they give you $300 to fix that hole, that doesn't mean that's $300 to fix the house. That's per square foot. If that makes sense. I did one in Mobile where I had a drive underneath a car, could drive underneath the home, and inside that home there was no fire protection above. So if the car caught fire or there was a fire started in the garage, it would set the house on fire. Well, it's to code now that has to be sheetrock. It has to be a fire-coated sheetrock. So when I wrote that up, basically we took that square footage of what it cost, multiplied it times what our diagram showed, and that's what it costs to have it done. So these are just some of the extra things that we do that no other home inspection company that we know of doesn't. Some of the things that we do here at the Sloan Team, and we have called Pillar to Post the Sloan Team because I think my team, I think we're one of the best in the nation personally. Maybe I'm just that way, but I can tell you that most companies right now, most inspection companies, and you can tell me most real estate companies are down based on last year. Right now we're up, what are we up as of right now? 28%?
Almost 30%.
Almost 30% over last year. I can tell you in the month of, goodness gracious, May, June, July, we set record. We're doing over 100 inspections a month. We did one particular situation where we did 54 in 1 week. You say, how in the world can you do 54 inspections in a week? Because we have 5 inspectors, and we can do it. We also have a guarantee, 100% guarantee. If you call me today and you want that inspection tomorrow and I can't do it, I'll do it for free. We have a 24-hour guarantee, 100%, it will be free. If you call me on Saturday and you want it on Sunday, we guarantee we'll do it on Sunday. We work 7 days a week, just like realtors do. I had, matter of fact, realtor called me from Mobile yesterday, and I booked 4 with a realtor in Mobile yesterday. Because that's what we do. That's exactly what we do. We answer the phones from 8 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So don't ever feel, oh man, I can't call him, it's too early. Don't worry about that, because we're there. We'll answer the phone. That's who we are. That's just what we are. If you get out to a job, if you're showing a house on the weekend and you're having a problem and you're seeing something that you're not familiar with, and just take a picture, call me. Hey Dan, what is this? Tell me what this is. Be glad to. I always answer my phone, so it's not a problem anytime. So again, 7 days a week, 24-hour guaranteed. We do the 360-degree photos on every inspection, and then we estimate all your repair costs on every job that we do. So then we have add-on services, and if you're familiar with add-on services, this is where we go into. We do sewer scopes. A lot of companies don't. We do even radon tests. We don't really have radon down here, but the problem is you have people from up north that come down here and ask for radon because they have it up north and they just want to be protected here. So we do radon also. We do things like sprinkler system testing. We do grinder pumps. We do a lot of grinder pump inspections. Because I mean, goodness gracious, you can move into it, even a brand new house, and we found it. If you find tell you the goods and the bads about some of these new houses is that sometimes they'll use the bathtub as their throw wall. So they'll throw pieces of wood and scrap and all that kind of stuff in it, the drain's open, and then all of a sudden their cleaners come in there and they clean out this bathtub and they try to get everything out, but they don't know what went down the drain. And so now all of a sudden that little chunk of wood is stuck in the grinder pump outside and it's tearing up the grinder pump. Well, we check that. We'll know if that's happened. And it's a very inexpensive test too, very, very inexpensive. Any questions you got so far on anything I'm asking? Yes, ma'am.
Do you do Florida?
Yes, we do. Yes, we sure do. We don't have a Florida post there, but as long as you're based here, I can go there. And we're licensed to go there. So we're actually been looking into buying the pillar to post over there. May not happen. We're negotiating, but we'll see what happens. But, any other questions? So one of the other things I wanted to show you was our cost guide. And what I would suggest too on these cost guides are to take them with you maybe when you go in to show a home. And the beauty about the cost guide is that you can say, okay, well, oh man, that hot water heater's leaking. What's it gonna cost? So you can look up the hot water heater on here and it's gonna give you a good idea on what that's gonna cost. Everything from what an air conditioner is gonna cost to a roof covering. The problem in the roofing is you don't know how many squares on the roof, but it'll even get prices on roof, prices on dishwashers, dryers, plumbing, you name it. It kind of goes through that. And then you want to ask, so how fast do I get my report? When do I get my report? Well, believe it or not, if your customer is there, or if you are there, you'll get that report right that minute. We print out every one of our reports and we put it in a binder, just like this. So we go through it, and you can go through the inspection part of it. There's the very first page of the inspection, which then goes into your summary, which then goes into your inspection. So you can go through your inspection, you can see your pictures, you can see everything about it. So they get it immediately. If they're not there, they're still gonna get it immediately because we're gonna send them an email as soon as we walk off the premises. So there's no waiting whatsoever. It should not ever, I mean, if we leave that premises and 2 or 3 hours has passed and you haven't got it, you need to call us to find out. So maybe it went to your spam mail, maybe, who knows? But you should have it immediately. Another beauty of thing about this particular binder is that you can go in the very back of them and we have a home section. So you can actually put in the price of the home that you purchased, and then you can put in any construction items that you're adding to the home. Then you can put in your electric, gas, water cost, and even your property taxes you can put in. The beauty, you say, well, why do we need that? You don't have to have it. But think about it, now you're buying a house that maybe in 2 years you're gonna flip or turn. So everything now you've got to right where the new buyers wanna be. Now what I would highly suggest is that as you as a realtor, take this binder, put your business card here beside my business card, put your information in here, and what a perfect thing, in 2 years that customer pulls it off of his shelf and says, who is that realtor? Oh, there it is. They call you back to sell another house or to buy a house. So we try to think of a little bit of everything. I can't promise you that we have, but I can promise you that we're thinking every day on everything new that we can do in the industry. Alan, you want to pass these comparisons over? So I want to pass out just a basic home inspection comparison. Kind of compares us to 2 or 3 of the leading people in our area, other home inspection companies. So always everybody says, well, goodness gracious, you've got the pretty binder, you've got the 360 photos, you've got all this kind of stuff, you've got to be extremely expensive. Well, it's not the case. So basically what we did was we've taken a 1954 home and we just did an average. A 1954 home, 1,500 square foot with a crawl space and a pool. Also, we do pool inspections, so kind of tells you. It kind of gives you what our price would have been for that particular house, and then our competitor 1, 2, and 3. All of these competitors' prices too, we got right off the line, or we called them and tried to figure out their best thing. But as you'll notice, to do everything on this house, pillar to post, was $580. One of our top competitors, $675. Our next top competitor, $649. And then the only one that was lower was about $30 lower, was $550. But that $550 did not do the 360-degree photos, did not do the floor plan, did not do the PTP estimates that we do. So it's just a little thing of showing you that even though we do a lot of different stuff, we're not the highest price on the market, for sure. For sure. Any questions? Gotta have some questions here. I usually get bombarded with questions.
This last thing just answered my question about like what are your price versus the competitors and like what that would cost versus like what they do.
Yeah.
That is impressive, I have to say, but this is awesome. Definitely something to use for reference when people want to know how much each thing costs.
Right, right.
Especially these days.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I can tell you, we basically, our home inspections start around $375. They work their way up, definitely based on square footage. We don't base it on price. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I did a $10 million home on the bay. And everybody's like, God, that inspection must have been unbelievably priced. It's $2,000. And basically because it was 10,000 square feet, but it wasn't outrageous in price. So we don't base it on how much the house costs. We base it on the square footage. We base it on a crawl space. We base it on the age of the home. So if the home is an older home like this particular one we priced, it normally is going to have an extra $40 charge because of our liability is so much more on the 1950 or 60 home than it would be on the 2023 home. One thing we also have is E&O insurance, which I know y'all have E&O insurance. Our E&O insurance basically covers you also. So if we find if the errors and omissions, if we have a problem out and we miss something, they don't only come back, if they're gonna come, as you know, if it's something serious, they don't only come back after us, they come after you, they come after the broker, they come after everybody, because they try to get as much money as they can. But we protect you, we're right there to protect you. Tell you a quick little story, which is a bad little story. But we had a situation in Texas where an inspector went out, inspected the house, and it was on a back deck, and he passed it all, everything. Customers moved in, deck fell, killed a little girl, which is the worst thing in the world anybody can ever imagine. So in that particular case, definitely the lawyers went after everybody, trying to get everybody. But our E&O insurance paid for every penny of the money that it would have cost out of your pocket. So we're here to protect you 100%. Another good thing about our 360-degree photos, you don't realize how many times it does protect us. I had one broker here in Gulf Shores, matter of fact, she said, Dan, man, y'all saved my butt. I said, what are you talking about? She said, well, I went in and showed the customer the house. The next day you came out and did your inspection. Then we come back to do the walkthrough, and my customer says, hey, I think they changed some of these light fixtures. And they called the seller. The seller said, no, we didn't change the light fixtures. The original light fixtures when you did the walkthrough. And so we looked at 360-degree photos. No, they changed the light fixtures. But it was all right there where you could see it. So those things really do protect you. They protect us. I'm glad that we do it. I will say it when they told us we had to start doing 360s, which was about 2 years ago. We all complained about it. Oh God, just something else we got to do. Oh my gosh. But it's the best thing we've ever done, ever, for sure, for sure. Yeah, go ahead,
Not to be a plant in the audience here, but probably the number one question we get is related to the verbiage in the report. how that can be problematic from time to time. Can you speak on that briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you got a customer, and matter of fact, my wife's a realtor too, by the way, just to let you know. And she's a realtor up in Fairhope for Legacy Realty. But she had a house, not just, matter of fact, a couple months ago that went under contract. And she can't use us because it's against the rules, but so she used someone else and they come out and she was the seller. So the buying agent had someone come out and done it. And automatically the home inspector says, okay, well this hot water heater is at the end of life. And so to begin with, the inspector had to have been crazy because it's a 2021 hot water heater. So I don't know how he could have thought it was end of life. So, but even if it was a 1990 hot water heater, how is it for an inspector can tell you that it's at the end of life? How? It's impossible. It's impossible for us to tell you that it's end of life. So what we do is we use an infrared scan and we scan the hot water coming out. If it's up to temperature, that's what we're checking. That is up to temperature. And that's what we say. Now we will say, this hot water heater is so-and-so years old. We highly recommend a plumber to verify for its working order or something in that case, but we don't say it's at the end of life. We don't ever tell you that you have to change out an AC. It's not our business to tell you. We're kind of like the doctor. We're a general doctor going in and looking at general things. And when we find something that is not right, we recommend you to that surgeon. We recommend you to the orthopedic. We recommend you to the people who do that. We're not licensed electricians. We're not licensed plumbers. We're not licensed HVAC guys. So why should we tell you that you have to change something when we really don't? We don't know. So you'll always see that in our verbiage that we recommend. Matter of fact, 4 years ago, the state of Alabama, we had to do writing courses for the state to show how we wrote up our items. Some people I don't think ever went, but we did, and so that you'll see that in our verbiage. So, but again, we're home inspectors. Then when it comes even into cosmetics, we will put in a case, like I was mentioned to you about the floor. I would say the bathroom tile, the floor in the bathroom has a broken tile, and then period. I'm telling you what's wrong. It's got a broken tile, period. I recommend a contractor evaluate and repair if necessary for cosmetic purposes only. Basically saying that tile's not tearing your house down, it's a broken tile, you know? So we always note that it's cosmetic purposes only. The one thing that we do a lot, I don't know how much y'all know of infrared scanners. Do you know what an IR scanner is? Something we use a whole lot. Infrared scanners will basically, I can scan it on that wall and I can tell you if there's water in that wall or if there's heat in that wall, or what the problem is on that wall. And the beauty about it is I did a DR Horton home. And I noticed as I was walking around the outside that the hose bib was loose on the side of the house. So when I got to the inside of the house, I took my IR scan and scanned that area. The hose bib had broken loose from the plumbing fitting. And the whole inside of that wall was soaking wet where it all done, all by an IR scan. It's things you can't see with the naked eye, it's just things we have to do out and look. So no more questions? Goodness gracious, y'all are quiet. Must be a Monday. Is it Monday? Well, we appreciate it. We got one little video we want to show you.
Yeah, Michelle's gonna play that video up for us real quick.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is
Absolutely.
The virtual open house, is that like Matterport, that kind of stuff, or?
It's very similar to Matterport. Very, very similar. It's not Matterport. It's actually our system called DocuSketch. But yes, ma'am, it's very, very much like that.
Okay. So it's this.
There's one simple vision hack anyone can use to improve vision, so you can say goodbye to your optometrist for good. Did you know?
As a busy professional realtor, your time is important. Getting a deal done takes a lot of work. You can't afford to revisit a property multiple times to show and re-show a home to clients, friends, family, and contractors. We get it. That's why we now include PTP 360 with all our home inspection packages. In just 15 minutes, PTP 360 creates an interactive, navigable, 360-degree virtual tour of a home. Outside, inside, every room, floor to ceiling. It is just like being there. Now your clients can revisit the home anytime from a desktop, tablet, or smartphone. They can also share the tour with friends and family. Key findings and pictures from our home inspection report are highlighted and can be easily shared with contractors to secure an accurate quote. If your client chooses our premium or prestige home inspection packages, they will also receive PTP Floor Plan, which produces a measured floor plan of the entire house. PTP Floor Plan helps your clients determine furniture fit and provides measurements that can be used to get accurate quotes for painting, flooring, and construction. PTP 360 and PTP Floor Plan, saving you time, getting you to closings faster, and helping your clients make a confident home ownership decision. Discover the pillar to post difference today.
So I want to say thank you for allowing us to come in. I will tell you just one quick little.
Tennessee, and today we're going to talk about inspections and repair.
So to just tell you one little thing, is so as I know, basically your contingencies are 10 days. Sometimes you do 5 days, whatever else. The beauty about us doing our 24-hour guarantee, if you wanted to do a 2-day, you could, because now 2 days we're going to come in and inspect it. You're going to get the inspection immediately, and then you're going to get all the price on what it's going to cost to fix it, whatever there is. So just keep that in your mind. We've had a lot of people. We've had people even call us, realtors call us and say, "Hey, Dan, I know it's late, but can you do one today?" Well, yeah, we can. And we have a motto: we never say no. So just call and ask. We never say no. We were very lucky, Alan and I. As far as Pillar to Post is concerned, we're one of the leading franchises in all of the 600 something Pillar to Posts out there. We were just asked to be on a huge podcast for all of the Pillar to Post nationwide, and that was our big thing, is that we just never say no. So please, if I can help you at all, please give me a call. What I'd like to do is to say, before we leave here, the best way to get a hold of us. So the best way is anyway, really, email, texting, it doesn't matter. But I want to give you, if you have a chance to pull up your phone, you can type text to 88500, and once you put it in, 88500, then you're going to type DSloan, all together, no period, no nothing.
I assure you, you are not signing up for spam.
And I guarantee
100% promise you're not signing up for spam.
So basically what you're doing is it's going to give you an app. It's going to pop up on your phone. It's going to give you an app. And if you want to order a home inspection right on that app, you can. It just is that easy. You just click it, order it, boom, it's done. Anybody have it come up? Did it?
Yeah, I got it.
So you can see on that link the place to book an inspection, or you can, our main number, the 517 number, you can call or text that. Sloan Team at pillartopost.com, you can email that. That goes to all of us. Any way you want to, whatever works easiest for you.
Yeah.
We're glad to do it that way.
We get a lot of people. I mean, so texting is so popular nowadays. We get so many agents. Just send me they send the email address, the customer's name and number, phone number, address. You're done. That's it. You're done. So we take it from there. So. All right. Well, thank y'all very much. Please help yourself to some food over there. There are some fat pills, but there are some good stuff too. So.